Thank you for joining me on the show today. This is the Now Talks, a collection of inspiring personal stories and leadership lessons from some of the world's most iconic leaders. It is the weekly podcast for women in leadership, brought to you by Nations of Women. My name is Dr. Tina Allton, and I'm your host for today and the coming weeks. Welcome again to this week's edition. I don't know where you're listening to me from today, but boy, oh boy, the weather everywhere is changing. The seasons are changing. And I think the same can be said of our lives. Obviously, we're in November. This is the last week of November of 2023, and we're really coming into December, which is the last month of the year. Now, I don't know where the year is gone, but it's like whoosh, the year has been racing and racing and racing and racing. Now, this week, I want to really talk to us about how do we make our lives count? How can we make everything about our lives, everything about our leadership, how can we actually make that count? And so in preparation, I've been reading a book by my mentor, John C. Maxwell. And I hope that we can take a journey together and explore some of the key ways I would say in which we can perhaps adopt not just adopt, but actually incorporate into our daily lives that truly will make us impactful leaders in our time. So here's a question for us. How would you describe your life? Are you actually achieving, or have you achieved what you set out to achieve this year, perhaps? What did you set out to achieve this year? What were the things that you decided, what? This is what is going to be important to me this year. Have you been on the road to achieving those? Do you consider, when you look back to the beginning of the year, would you say that you've been successful in achieving the things that you set yourself? How is the future looking like? Where, a month and less than a week away, we would be in a whole new year. It would be 2024. So these are very important questions because I believe, at the beginning of the year, we all set goals. We all, have aspirations. We're excited, motivated, inspired, you name it. We've got it all. But how are we actually living our lives? Are we truly achieving the things that we set out to achieve? Here's another question. So if I came to your house and spent a day with you, do you think I'd be able to tell you how your life is? If I spent that day with you, just watching you in your habits, in your actions, and everything else, I think that for each of us, we would be able to tell the course of direction of that person's life. Now, it might sound like, oh, that is a rush decision, or you're even judging the person incorrectly. But the truth is, the culmination or the adding, if we add up how we live our lives in every day, which is made up of the decisions that we're making, the choices that we're making, how are we disciplined in our daily lives? All of those add up to the bulk of our lives. All of those is what truly will determine whether or not every single day we're making our lives count. So here's a thought. How do we actually define a life that counts? How do we define that? Here's a thought for you. How do you define your day? So this week, I want to talk to us about the blueprint for a meaningful life. And we're going to explore how we define our lives, how we spend our time, the way we spend our time, how that impacts our overall success, overall fulfillment, overall ability in being able to create, build, sustain, and live a meaningful life. And we're also going to delve into, understanding Things such as personal priorities, our attitude, our mindset, all of those things and more. So, number one is, life definition, time management. Do you really understand the value of each day that you have? Like every single day, we all have the same exactly 24 hours. And how do you actually spend your time? Right? How do you spend your time? How you spend your time is key. It's crucial. It's so, so important. How we do everything that we set ourselves to is very important. And so another thought could be, let's just look at this. Another thought would be, what kind of mindset do you live with every single day? How do you embrace challenges? How do you actually go through failures? Do you see them as learning opportunities that you can actually learn from and it can help you to grow? Right? Do you stay curious? Are you open-minded? How are you actually living every single day of your life? How are you doing that? Right? It's so, so important that we think about how we live. Our mindset for living a meaningful life is like your key to being able to enter your house. How do you manage your finances? Right? Effective financial management reflects and influences your life, your priorities. Do you budget? Do you save? Do you invest? What are you doing? How are you actually stewarding what it is that you have? How you steward not just your finances, but every area of your life actually creates a meaningful life. It helps you to set, not just short term, but long term goals, and it helps you to be able to achieve them. How are you being generous? What oftentimes we talk about our strengths, but generosity is also, I think, a very important strength. Um, are we just focused on us and us alone? Or when you think about, your purpose, and how that connects to others, how are you benefiting others? And generosity is not just, where you give your money, for example, your time. How are you benefiting other people with your time, for example, right? Are you blessing other people? Are you pouring into other people? Are you making time for others to build them up, to, lead them? I don't know, but that's a question to ask yourself. And then your actions, your daily actions, your daily, every single day actions, whether it's small or big, as long as they are consistent, they will 100% of the time lead to the total sum of your life. And whether your life would be meaningful or your life would not be meaningful, it's all in the daily actions. So how can you actually adopt a mindset? How do you apply what I've shared so far into your life so that you can actually create, build, or live a meaningful life? Number one is adopting a learning attitude, right? You want to learn maybe a new skill or maybe a hobby or something that challenges you, something that helps you foster personal growth and resilience, because we're living in a time and an age and dispensation that you have to be resilient, right? So that's one practical way that you can help to develop a growth mindset, which you would need in order to live a meaningful life. And then number two application, practical application is budgeting for success. Create a simple budget. Track and manage your finances, or create a simple spreadsheet and track how are you spending your time? How are you stewarding every area of your life, right? The connection between your financial health is directly linked, or the connection between your financial health and your life satisfaction and your purpose are all connected. It's all on the same line. So you have to ensure that there is no kinks, kinks in the line, as it were. Number two is kindness. Being generous, building generosity into your daily routines, helping a neighbor, volunteering, pouring into others, mentoring others. All of these don't just benefit other people, but it's part of how to get fulfilled as an individual, as a leader, right? So you want to, again, create a simple spreadsheet. Where can you serve? Where can you volunteer? Where can you help somebody else? And build these into your daily routines. Finally, another great way of living a meaningful life is your daily goals. So set daily goals, review these daily. You can use a planner, you can use an app, you can use a simple spreadsheet, you can use any tool. There's plenty of tools available that can help you, and they can contribute to really being able to broaden your life's aspirations. So have goals. If you don't have a goal, it's like there's no destination. You sit in your car and it's like you're just going for a ride. But, you know, if you don't have a goal in mind, you just could end up anywhere. And a meaningful life is not a life that just leads anywhere. A meaningful life is a life that is purposeful, a life that is well thought through, a life that pours into others, a life that is aligned with your overall life's purpose. So, some takeouts: growth mindset and financial habits, or good stewardship of all areas of our lives. These are foundational to building a meaningful life. Tip number two, or takeout number two, is practicing generosity and aligning our daily actions with our life goals will enhance you as a person, will bring you fulfillment and help you to achieve your goals. And you know what? That is how you would be able to build a life that is meaningful. Now, I also think that you know, there is in between all of these, there is like three key things as well that are building blocks for a life that is meaningful. So when you want to build something, you build a house with bricks. You build it, bricks and mortar is not just one piece of material. There's a whole lot of different materials that you bring together to build the foundation for the house. And so, relationships are important. How are you building relationships? What relationships are you building? Um, how strong are they? How supportive are these? They are very crucial, not just for you, but for others as well, because on your journey in life, you need others as much as others need you. And so you want to build relationships that are good and healthy. Your well-being is considered in those. So look at ways that you can build and maintain, really good, strong, healthy relationships or friendships, right? Um, Track your habits. What habits are you building? Right. One great habit is more journaling. Journaling, things that are happening. It helps you to create and identify a pattern that helps you to recognize, actually, these are my habits. And we know that your thoughts, right? Everything we do starts from our mind. So your thoughts, kicks into action, and those actions become your habits, and your habits become your way of life. And if those habits are not good habits, then ultimately it would rob you of your life. It would rob you of the ability to actually create a true meaningful life, right? Another thing is decision making, the quality of your decisions. What decisions are you making? Right? Decisions are not always simple, they're not always easy, but making decisions are necessary for living life. And so it's very important that you have a strategy for making decisions if you're going to live a meaningful life that counts, and that impacts others. Then here are some thoughts, and this was Theodore Hesburgh, who is the former president of Notre Dame University, and they said that don't make decisions because they're easy. Don't make easy decisions. Right? Don't make decisions because they're cheap. I think cheap decisions, we all know what that leads to. And don't make decisions because they're popular, trying to follow the popular thoughts or pathways or expectations or whatever it is. Make decisions because they're right, because the quality of your decisions determine the quality of your life overall. Right? When you begin to build a life that matters, you would see that every aspect of that life reflects the decisions that you have made. You don't need to make decisions alone. You can make decisions through seeking feedback. Have a mentor. I can't emphasize enough the importance of having a mentor in your life whom you can go to, bounce off from, right? A trusted advisor in your life that you can go to and help you to make those decisions. And another way is, if you don't have a mentor yet, always, create a list of the things that you're facing, the possible solutions, the possible decisions that you can make, right? List them, identify what's critical, what isn't, right? And then whittle these down to what can ultimately become the right decisions. So I do hope that this has been valuable to you and you found value in it, that to make every day count, we have to look at what commitments have we made to ourselves, what kind of mindset are we living with. Do we have a victim mindset? Do we have a victor mindset? How do we face challenges? Do we see challenges or failures as opportunities? Are we being generous with other people? How are we stewarding other areas of our lives? All of these things cultivate the habits, the decisions that we ultimately make, and ultimately the quality of our life, which will be either meaningful or not meaningful. But remember, you don't want to just live a meaningful life just because, it was meaningful to you. You really want to live a meaningful life that actually counts. So until we come your way next time, remember, don't just live life for the sake of. Live a meaningful life that truly, truly counts. I'd love to know what are your strategies for living a meaningful life that truly counts. Take care and see you next time. And that's all for this week. You've been listening to Dr. Tina Allton with the Now Talks, the weekly podcast for women in leadership, brought to you by Nations of Women. All that remains is for me to say have a fantastic week, stay safe, and reach out if you need any help now at nationsofwomen.com. Until next time, enjoy the pursuit of your potential, and remember, now is your time.